First of all, my name is Joe Hoffman. I'm a resident here in El Dorado Hills. I'm married, have 2 children. I spend my free time, if you call it that, coaching soccer and coaching basketball here locally at both the rec level and the competitive levels. My wife and I are both attorneys, and we have our office in Cameron Park, and we also have an office in Folsom. We've been practicing together since we came out of law school, opened our office about 17 years ago. So as a small business owner, a lot of what we talk about here tonight rings very, very true to me as a business owner. We get asked a lot in these candidate forums and when we're out meeting people why we want to be a judge in the county. And the bottom line for me is that I've been practicing law in this county for 18 years. I see a lot of good things and I see a lot of bad things that occur. And of the bad things and the things that I would say are wrong with the system, there are a lot that are probably beyond our scope to fix as a judge, but there's a lot that are within our control to fix. And rather than sit back and complain about it, which we're all apt to do, I decided it was time to step up and try and make those changes. The way to do that is to be the judge. So as an example, for some of the issues, is there's a lot of money wasted in the process. Anyone that has been unfortunate enough to be in that process knows what I'm talking about in conjunction with expert fees, lawyer fees, and more importantly, the waiting around fees. The courthouse is clogged, to say the least. A lot of that is based upon the fact that we're underfunded, frankly. LA County, Orange County, San Francisco seems to get the bulk of the money, and places like El Dorado County seem to be left to fend for themselves, which is a tragedy, frankly. We're probably 5 judges behind what the numbers of the caseload says we should be at. So if you think about that, and there's 8 judges, and we're 5 short, that's a big gap that we're missing. And one of the things that again, beyond our scope probably as sitting judges to get the money back into the county, certainly that would be lobbied for, but we all know what money is like in this state, and the likelihood of getting that, your option is to throw up your hands or come up with other solutions to that problem. And for me, I think the biggest way to remedy a lot of that is to have consistency on the bench, to have judges that will be there for a while, to have judges that issue consistent rulings. Frankly speaking, I've been a lawyer in this county for 18 years, and unfortunately, the clients don't like to hear this, but a lot of the cases we see are the same. Very, very similar fact pattern. And a lot of times the trouble is when we have to tell our clients that even though I've seen this case 100 times, I can't tell you what the judge is going to do with this. And that shouldn't be the case when we have consistent fact patterns. As a judge, you should issue consistent rulings. If the facts are the same, the outcome should be the same. It's a simple math equation at that point. And by doing that and establishing that consistency, what you do is you create the environment for attorneys to do their job, to meet with each other, to be civil about it, and to actually reach resolution without the need for court intervention, because they know with these facts, if they go before me, this is going to be the ruling. Then why spend the time, money, and the 2-year delay waiting for that result when you can get to an ending point and resolve that? That saves money for all of us, frankly. That saves money for all of us that have to use that system. And most of us at some point in time will have to use the court systems for resolution of things. And by having a system set up where the judges are concerned about your fiscal ability to afford the process is relevant. And it's an important fact that we all should be concerned about when we're dealing with this system. Now, one of the things to know about me is that I'm very cognizant of time and money. I know that's sometimes hard to believe when I talk to people and tell them I'm a lawyer and that I'm concerned about time and money. But they can go hand in hand, and they do with me, which means we spend a lot of time talking to our clients about the pro and con of going forward and the cost that's associated with that. And it's not a victory to spend $10,000 in fees to get an $8,000 resolution. That's a $2,000 loss. And it's important for attorneys to recommend that to their clients, and important for judges to know and get a good handle on the finances that are taking place in front of them. You can't put your head in the sand as a judge and just not worry about the cost to people. It's got to be a relevant factor. And so I'm looking to run to be able to provide that consistency, provide that common sense approach, to be practical about it. My job as a judge would not be to legislate from the bench. You know, that's not the judge's role. The judge's role is to provide the findings of fact. That's an important distinction. And a lot of judges seem to think it's their responsibility to legislate from the bench or to try the case for the attorneys that are before them. And the way I look at that is that's the attorney's job. My job as a judge is as a finder of fact. My experience that gets me to that point is that I've been a pro tem judge in El Dorado County for over 10 years, and I've been a pro tem judge in Sacramento County for over 10 years. I've also had the humble experience of being chosen as a private judge. And that's kind of a term of art and a nuance, but basically what happens is two attorneys that are looking to get a faster, more well thought out ruling potentially are looking to hire somebody as the judge for that case specifically. You're signed off by the court to be the judge for that case because you have a certain reputation in the community and a certain expertise in an area. And I've been fortunate and humbled by the fact that many very, very good lawyers in this county have sought my assistance as a private judge to be able to help resolve their case. In a lot of ways, it's a sad commentary that they have to. You know, if you think about it, they're paying money to get a fast, well thought out, reasoned ruling, which frankly should be the job of the court. But again, because of the backlog and the burden and the financial constraints, they're not getting it there, so they're seeking it elsewhere. And I've been humbled by the fact that they've come to me to seek that. Some other things I'd like you to know, and I'm not going to take a ton of your time today, but I would encourage you to look at my website, Hoffman for Judge, with the number 4, and look at the list of endorsements. They're people you probably know. They're attorneys in the community. They're local judges that know what I've done. I've appeared before all the judges that are endorsing me. They've seen my work. They know what I'm about, and they know that I'd be a great judge, and they've been gracious enough to lend their name to my candidacy. And I will tell you, when you look at the attorneys, I would want you to remember one fact about that. I started off, again, just my wife and I in practice. We have one other attorney working for us now. The list of attorneys that I deal with on a daily basis are generally people that I've been against. Okay? Those are my colleagues. I'm not in a big firm. I don't work for the government. There are people that I work against on a daily basis. And I cannot tell you, and I keep saying this, but it's very humbling to have attorneys that I've fought tooth and nail with, and we've argued in court, and we've done our cases, and we've battled through process, frankly, to come out at the end of that and say, he'd be a good judge, and I'm willing to put my name on the line, which is not an easy thing to ask an attorney that may have to appear before one of the other candidates if I'm not successful in this. But they're willing to do it because they know that I'd be a very good judge. They know that I'm a good, well-qualified candidate for this position, and they know my personality and my reputation, and they believe that that will suit me well when I'm on the bench. And again, that's an amazing thing to have happen. What I would ask you to do, because we've done several of these forums, and one of the things we get asked a lot is how do I choose between candidates? I mean, that's a difficult thing. We're 3 very different candidates. There's no doubt about that. What I tell you is, if you don't get a sense from hearing us speak tonight, and you're still uncertain of how you want to do that, ask people that are in the know. Ask the deputies in town. Ask the court clerks you may know. Everyone seems to know an attorney somewhere or another in this county. Ask those folks. Ask them what they think. They're in the trenches. They're in the courthouse. They know what's going on. They're in the know in this forum. And what you're going to find, I believe, when you do ask those questions is that my name keeps coming up again and again. And I appreciate that very much, the fact that it comes up again and again. But that's a pretty telling sign from my perspective as to who the community thinks would be a good judge, reputation, practical experience, and who would make a good judge on the bench in El Dorado County. So for that, I thank you very, very much, and I'm looking forward to the question and answer session. And again, thank you for the opportunity.